As it pleases the court, my lord. My lord, I am standing in for Advocate Mshololo, representing accused number 5. As it pleases the court.
By the way, your name?
B. Munyekiman. Initials is B, surname Munyekiman.
Ms. Khumalo, once more we remind you that you are still under oath.
Ms. Khumalo, ngaphansi kwesifungo yakhonjuzwa inkantolo. Witness confirms, my lord.
So God please, my lord. Ms. Khumalo, we want to show you photo 21. When we adjourned yesterday, you gave an estimation of the distance between the bathroom door in which you sought refuge to the beginning of the dining room. And you estimated the distance to be about 5 meters.
Uyakhona ukuthi izolo akuba sothatha ikhefu ubule utshela inkantolo ke ubufakazini bakho malana-ke nalesi sithombe iphoto number 21 uzama ukusibekisela nje ukuthi i-distance yakhona ibithini ungazuthi 5 meters ukusuka laphana kuloya mnyango wasebathroom ukufika ekitchen. Elikhulumele phezulu mama. It is indeed so.
Yes, we just want to show you photo 21 of Exhibit B. My lord, it's on page 34 of the bundle. Yes. What is your comment regarding this photo?
So mina ngangina uyabona ukuthi umnyango mawuvuleka uvulekela ngaphakathi.
Now this is the point that I was at, as pointed out by the witness. One can also see that the depiction of the door is that it opens to the inside. It does appear that the witness shows the doorpost of the door. On the picture, it is on the left, which is again close to the picture. It is bottom left of the post.
Yes, and if we can just put it on record, what is the point where the light is now shown?
So la kune basin and then kunesikhala nje esincane la ungakhona nakhona umnyango mawuvalile mina ngiyalingana khona.
Now just behind the post there's a basin. There's a basin behind the post, and then there's a beginning of a bathtub. Okay. And then between the basin and the bathtub there's a space that when a person attempts to close the door, they will be able, or rather myself, I will be able to close that door based on my physique.
Yes, but
so engangiskwate khona ke ngilindile.
That is the very spot where I had crouched at or squatted at as I was waiting.
Photo 22 can be shown. Just take it up a little bit. Yes. What is your comment regarding this photo?
Uphawula ngokuthini ke lesi sithombe?
ikhona impela la ngangime khona phakathi ne base ne bathtub.
This is the exact spot where I had stood at between the base and as well as the bathtub.
Okay, can you just show this spot?
One second.
Kuzala kuyala indawo eyodwa.
That very spot that has been shown now, it is the spot where I had stood at, and the light was moving from one end of the basin to the end of the bathtub, or the beginning of the bathtub.
But if photo 25 can be shown. What is your comment regarding this photo?
Manje ke lalo phana ngokuthini?
Leli fastera ilona ke leli engathi ngalibheka ngacabanga ukuthi mhlawumbe mangathiwa isigebengu siyadlula la or siyaphuma sizongibona mhlawumbe isilhouette ngimile. So yikho ngaze ngasikwatha.
Now, this is the very window that I thought that if a criminal were to walk past that particular window and sees me standing, that could mean they're undesirable for me. That is why I decided to crouch, so that in case one suspect or a criminal happened to be there, shouldn't see me.
Thank you. You may then continue.
And then kwathi masekusenjalo ngavula umnyango kancane
While at that, I then slightly opened the door and I peeped.
If you can go back to photo 21 of Exhibit B, that's on page 34. Yes, if you can just give your evidence using that photo 21.
So tell me to panel here when you told it ukufaka ngapho umsebenzi lesi sithombe photo 21.
So ngathi mase ngilapha kwe basin la engime khona, and then ngase ngiyavula kumnyango lo, but nakhona ngawuvula kancane ukuthi at least ngikhiphe ikhanda nje ngipopola ukuthi kwenzakalani.
Now, while I was at that spot, as shown on the photo, I then slightly opened the door with an effort, an attempt to peek or peep through that door. I only protruded the head.
Yes.
On which side of that photo would the dining room be?
Manje ke ngoba sibheke lesi sithombe nje. I-dining room ingakuphi?
I-dining room iya ngapha kusho ukuthi u-left njengoba ngibheka isithombe kodwa mangingaphakathi mina iya kwa right.
Right, yes. As I'm looking at the picture depicted here, the dining room would be on the left-hand side of the picture as we're looking at the picture. But given the fact that I was inside of the bathroom or at the door there, then it would mean that it would be on my right.
Yes, you may proceed with the evidence.
And then ngase ngithi ngiyapopola kanjalo ngabona uSenzo ephuma ngasekitchen.
As I was sleeping like that, I saw Senzo coming from the kitchen.
Just a minute. If the sketch plan can be shown, that's Exhibit B, page 20. What would you say the distance is between the bathroom door and the kitchen, the entrance to the kitchen?
Ungathi mhlambe mawusibhekisela ukuthi distance kusuka lapha kulomnyango wase bathroom ukufika kumnyango okanye kwisicabha sasekitchen.
Hayi incane kakhulu noma ngingazi the exact number kodwa kufishane kakhulu.
It's a very short distance. I cannot necessarily give an exact distance, but it is very short.
Are you more or less able to indicate the distance by showing from the witness stand to a certain point?
Yeah, that's okay. Ukusuka la ukhona la.
Mhlambe ukusuka la ngime khona mhlambe ukufika lapha eqaleni kwestand se television.
Proximity could be from where I am seated up to the far corner of that TV stand.
Approximately 2 meters. 2 meters. We are all agreed with my learned friends that's about 2 meters. Yes, you may continue.
And then usenzo mayiphuma ehamba ngokusheshsha ebeka izandla la isifubeni ekhokhoba eyoyifihla phakathi naphakathi kosofa lo ngangihleli kuwona.
Now, Senzo, as he was walking out of the kitchen, he held his arms on his torso, on the front part of the body, whilst also crouching like that. The witness tried to demonstrate there that Senzo was also bent forward while holding that part of the body, that is the front part of the body, and then he went to hide himself between the couches where I was seated initially.
He did what himself?
He went to hide himself between the couches where I had initially seated.
Do you remember how the deceased was clad on the day in question?
Ngiyakhumbula ukuthi begqoke kanjani umufi ngaleli langa.
Ngiyakhumbula wayefake ijini blue.
I remember, yes, he was wearing a pair of blue jeans and a white t-shirt
namateka amhlophe
and a white pair of sneakers or tekis.
Can you explain again? He said he had a white t-shirt.
Ubegqoke i-t-shirt emhlophe, amajini blue.
wayefake iskipa esimhlophe nejini blue namateka amhlophe.
Yes, he was clad in a white t-shirt, a blue pair of jeans, and as well as a white pair of tekis.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you photo 65 of Exhibit B. It appears on page 64 of the bundle. Hello. If you can give your evidence using the photo.
Mage ungakwazi ukuthi uthule ubufakazi bakho usebenzisake lokho okubonakala lana ku photo number 65.
Wafika kusenzo wagijima wadlula usofa lo wafike waguqala ngamadolo.
Now, Senzo came and he went past that sofa or the couch, and he knelt at that very spot where the line had or the light has been shown, just next to that couch.
Stand.
He knelt down, and it's between the couch and the stand, the TV stand. He knelt on his knees at that very spot.
Yes.
Yes, you may proceed.
So ngiyaqhubeka.
And then emva kwakhe kanjalo ngisase khona bathroom kanjalo kwalandela uKelly and then kwalandela uma kwase
No.
kulandela ususpect number 1.
Now, behind him, while I was still in the bathroom, came Kelly, then
My mother.
my mother, and then the suspect of crime.
Oqala lo ama-threats.
Yes, the first suspect, or the first intruder, the one who had dreadlocks on his head.
Yes.
You may proceed.
Ngiyaqhubeka.
And then uKelly wafike wama-ke emva kaSenzo usenze ngaphambilini ngemuva
No,
uma wafike nje wamala ngasesofeni.
Now, Kelly came and stood behind Senzo. Senzo was in front, then Kelly, and then the mother behind. And my mother then came and stood at that point that has been shown by the light on that photo number 65 there.
Yes.
And the first intruder, because you said in that row there was also the first intruder.
Kanti lo umngenele wokuqala, intruder yokuqala, yena ube kuphi?
Yena wafike futhi uma wathi mayifika la. And then wafike wathatha ifoni eyayicharger. Angisakhumbuli noma ifoni yayiphezu kwestand noma yayiphezu kosofa. Wafike wayithatha ifoni and then i-intruder yafike yabona ukuthi uma uphethe ifoni ngesandla yafike yamshaya eswini ngendololwane uma wayiyeka ifoni wahlala phansi. So i-intruder is somewhere la eceleni.
Yeah, where the light has been shown, this is where more or less the intruder was.
Yeah, just
The light
Can you
was.
point again?
I'll call the foot lapel. This is where the intruder was. And witness continued to relate that there was a phone that was on the armrest. I am uncertain. It could have been on the armrest of the couch or perhaps on that TV stand. Then my mother took that phone because it was charging. My mother took the phone, and then that's when that intruder saw that she has taken the phone or that she is in possession of the phone now. And the intruder hit her with the elbow. That's when she then fell onto the sofa,
A swing.
or rather on the abdomen. Should have been shy.
Ngendololwane
Eswing,
eswing.
shower uma.
Shower.
Yes. So the elbow actually hit, or that she was hit with the elbow on the abdomen. Well, up with herself. Then she fell onto the sofa.
where? Can you just
Go pick that
On
one.
this sofa here.
That is the first seat of that sofa, as depicted or shown by that light.
Yes, you may proceed.
Ungaqhubeka.
And then ke suspect number 1 wayeseyathatha ifoni ehluthuma and then wayeseyaphuma.
Now, this first suspect or intruder then snatched off the cell phone from my mother, and then he walked out.
Yes.
Yes, you may proceed.
Ungaqhubeka.
Ngaleso sikhathi uKelly wayejeke uSenzo ngamadolo from lapha ekhoneni.
Now, during that time, Kelly had lifted or supported Senzo with her knees, right there at that spot. Shooty a secret spot?
Phakathi nosofa ngestand la
Ve-
eguqe khona.
The very same spot where he had nailed Ed, which is now between the sofa as well as the TV stand.
Yes, you may continue.
Ungaqhubeka?
And then mayiqeda ukuthatha ifoni ke ufirst suspect wajika wahambe ngathi uya ekitchen.
Now, after he had taken the cell phone, and I should mention that the witness, while testifying like that, there is a light that is being shown at that very spot, estimated to have been the initial spot where the suspect was. After he had taken that cell phone, he then turned around and walked as though he was going to the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yes, you may continue.
Witness is just taking a sip of water.
And then makusesenjalo ngabona ukuthi uza nganeno ngacabanga ukuthi mhlawumbe uzongibona ngase ngiyawuvala futhi umnyango.
Now, whilst at that, I presumed that he was coming towards me, or towards the spot where I was. I then closed the door, thinking that he may have thought that I am seeing him. I then closed that door.
And where were you at that stage?
I was still in the bathroom, same spot.
Bengisasekhona ngasephaveni khona laphana bengime khona phambilini.
Yes, you may proceed.
Ungaqhubeka ke?
And then ngithe mase nguvula futhi umnyango sengithi ngiyapopola futhi ngibona ukuthi uphelele ngoba bese ngizwe ngathi kunesikhashana esincane engafiki la ngikhona. Ngase ngiyapopola ngathola ukuthi usehambile.
Now, then I made another attempt to open and to peep through the door again, because there was just an interval of silence, which I had thought that perhaps he could be gone because it was now quiet. And I then looked and I couldn't see him, Ubese Hambi. He had already vacated the house.
And are you able to tell the court as to how was the visibility at that stage?
Ngakwazi ukusitshela ke enkantolo ukuthi bekunjani ukubonakala ngasendlini. Khanya umnyama bekubonakala bekunjani.
Bekhanya indlela bekubonakala ngoba bese ama-light aye on.
The lights of the house were on, so it was visible in the house.
Yes, you may proceed.
So ngaqhubeka ke.
Ngase ngiyaphuma ke e-bathroom.
I then walked out of the bathroom.
Yes.
Ngajikisa ikhanda ngabheka ekitchen.
I turned my head to look or observe in the kitchen.
Ngathola ukuthi akunamuntu.
I then realized that there was no one.
Yes, you may proceed.
Ungaqhubeka.
Ngase ngiya ke kuma noKelly noSenzo la kade beme khona.
I then proceeded to where my mom, Kelly, and Senzo were at.
Yes.
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 Ngase ngiyabuza ukuthi kwenzakaleni and then uKelly wathi uSenzo uyopha bamdubulile.
I then inquired what happened.
As a court, please, we'll just, you inquired as to what happened and a report was made to you, is that correct?
Yes.
That is correct. Should I interpret what you had said?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The report is made, and then what happened?
Kanti-ke watshela ukuthi kwenzakaleni, bese kwenzakalani emva lokho.
And then kusenjalo nami sengiyapanika.
Before that, you were given a report to the effect that Senzo got shot, but who gave the report?
Kubanike owanikeza report obika ukuthi uSenzo sedudekile uyopha.
Usisi wami Kelly.
It was Kelly that gave me that report.
Yes.
Was it?
And
Yes.
then Max,
What were your own observations?
When uboneni?
oh nami ngithe mangibheka phansi ngalibona igazi naye ngabona ukuthi kubomvu la esikipeni.
Now, also, when I observed as well down, when I looked down, I saw the blood. And I also saw the stain of the blood. And again, the witness is showing the abdominal area of the torso.
Naye futhi uSenzo ngaleso sikhathi ubumbona ukuthi uzama ukuphefumula kodwa ngathi kunzima.
Now, even Senzo himself, during the time, one could see that he was trying to breathe, but that it was difficult. There's also a demonstration with the hands of the witness, the up and down movement, as in breathing in, breathing out.
Yes.
Yes, you may proceed.
Ngase ngikhumbula ukuthi ngaleso sikhathi mabengena la endlini mabethi bafuna i-cellphone nesibhamu ngathatha ifone yami ngayifihla emva kwe-cushion.
Now, I then remembered that at the time they intruded the house, they said they wanted the cell phone, the cell phone number is cell phones.
And they said they wanted my cell phone.
Oh, they said they wanted cell phones and the firearm. And
Sorry?
then
Cell
cell
phone?
phone and the
Nemali.
oh, and money. Sorry. They said they wanted the cell phone and the money. Given that thought, I then took my cell phone and hid it behind or under the cushion.
Under the what?
Cushion. Under the cushion, my lord.
Okay.
That is now at that point when a demand was made for cell phones and money.
Usho ngaleso sikhathi. Yes, it was at that point when the demand was made for cell phones and money.
Can you just show using this photo again?
Before that, by the way, by now you have brought us, it is after your mom, Senzo, Kelly, had converged there with Senzo on Kelly's lap.
Usho ususinikeze leso sithombe.
Yeah.
Is that when you hid the cell phone, or did you hide it before you ran into the bathroom?
The cell phone.
Ngayifihla ma ulantoza mayithi ufuna imali nama cell phone ngayifihla ke ngaleso sikhathi.
Ngaleso sikhathi.
So mase ngibuya ke bese ukuthi sengiyakhumbula ukuthi konje ngifihle lapho ngase ngiyoyilanda.
I actually hid the cell phone at the time that such items were demanded. The cell phone and the money was demanded. It was at that very time that I hid the cell phone. Then I remembered that I did hid or hide that particular cell phone. During that time, I went to the cushion where I had hidden the cell phone at. While you thought. Then I took my cell phone.
Can you just, using this photo 65, indicate, maybe photo 64, indicate where you hit your cell phone?
Ngayifihla phakathi ko sofa ne-cushion la ngaphakathi. Khona isikhala ngithi siba lapho phakathi. Ngase ngifaka nje lapho.
I just hid it right there. A light was shown on perhaps
ilanga ngihleli khona.
That is the very same spot where I had seated. That depiction of the picture shows about 1, 2, 3 seats. The middle seat.
So you hit it, was it was the cushion an add-on onto the couch, or was it a cushion that is readily part and parcel of the couch?
I guess yes. Cushion there, the way cushion there, oh, was to relate to beg the lapo organ. Cushion away, yes, sir.
Ikushini where ihlala la vele kodwa ayikusinqenye isofa ungayisusa uyibeke.
Your Lordship, this cushion is actually a loose cushion. In other words, one can just add it as and when they need to.
Yes.
And before Your Lordship, the court sought clarity. The witness indicated that between that cushion and the sofa, underneath the cushion, that is where the cell phone was hidden, because there is a space between that cushion, underneath the cushion, and the sofa. That's where it was hidden. And the very spot that was reflected, it is the middle spot of the 3-seater couch. And she indicated that that was where she was seated initially.
There are in fact other cushions on that couch.
Yes.
Yes, you may proceed.
So to beggar.
Ngase ngiyayithatha ke phone yami mangithi ngiyadayela nakhona ngoba ngase ngithukile. Angizange kwazi ukukhumbula number.
Now, I took my cell phone, given the fact that I was shocked or nervous during that time, I couldn't even recall a number that I could punch into the cell phone.
Yes.
Now, which number did you want to punch in the cell phone?
Ngifuna ukubiza 10111.
I wanted to phone call 10111 number.
Kodwa ingqondo yayimile yakho siya freeze nje angazi kanjani.
But I had a mental, or my mind got frozen.
Mental block.
Mental block, my lord. Thank you so much. I couldn't even think of it.
Yes.
And just for record purposes, which number is that number that you mentioned? 10111. Which place is it?
10111 in Abayande.
The number yamaphoyisa.
That is the police's number or call center number.
Yes.
Yebo.
Yes.
And then makusenjalo nami ke ngifrantic kanjalo ngase ngiyaphuma ngathi ngiyofuna usizo.
Now, whilst at that, and I was as frantic as I was, I thought to myself that I should go search for help or look for help.
Yes.
Yeah, just before we step off this aspect, the cell phone that was taken by the first suspect, whose cell phone is it?
Kwakuyifoni kaKelly ayicharger angisakhumbuli noma yayiphezulu kwestand noma yayiphezulu kwesofa kodwa kwakuyi Samsung S4
Yeah, that was Kelly's cell phone. I am uncertain about whether it was indeed charging or what. It was a black Samsung S4. It was Kelly's.
Yes, you explained that Mr. Tumelo Madala ran in one of the rooms. Did you see what happened to Mr. Mthokozi Zitwala?
Tumelo Madala usushilo ukuthi wagijimela kwelinye lamagumbi laphana. Umthokozi Zitwala yena ngabe khona umthizo wakubona ngayo?
Cha, angimbonanga ukuthi uphume nini endlini ngoba kodwa mangidlula ngiphume ngisuka ngasebathroom ngabona ukuthi indlu nje empty. Angibonanga ukuthi uphume nini.
No, I couldn't witness his exit of the house. I couldn't. Because when I left the initial spot, or the spot where I had hidden myself at, I found that it was empty. He had left also.
Yes, you may continue.
So I took her.
Ngase-ke ngiyaphuma endlini ngaphuma ngegate ngaya kwaMaphiri as uMaphiri i-best friend kama.
I then exited the house, exited the gate of the premises of our house, and I proceeded to Mapiri, knowing very well that Mapiri was my mother's friend. Wayendlini Mapiri.
Ngase ngiya kwaMaphiri.
Yes, I went to Mapiri's house.
Yes. And where is Mapiri's house located?
Iguphi-ke indlu kaMapiri osukhethanisakile.
Indlu kaMaphiri ingalo kumgwaqo kwasekhaya.
It is on the other side of the same street of my home's residence. It is on the other side of the street of our house.
What does that mean? I take it that is the street
Yeah.
passing by your mother's house. Now there is the left side, there is the right side, there might be the north or south or the east or west side of the street. What side are you?
uMaphiri ungapha so angeke ngithi direct opposite kodwa nje ngezansi kancane kwasekhaya ngathi opposite kwakube kancane.
The witness is shining the light there on photo number 1, depicting the house of Mapiri being on the opposite side of the opposite side of the houses. I would not necessarily say that it was directly opposite to my mother's house, but I can say that it was diagonally opposite to my mother's house, because it is actually directly opposite with our neighbor, or my mother's house neighbor.
So she stays along the opposite row of houses across the street.
Kanjalo.
Yeah, kunjalo.
It is indeed so, Your Lordship.
Okay.
Shuthi-ke uhlala kule mugqa wezindlu obhekene-ke nomugqa wezindlu la indlu kaMayi khona.
Kunjalo.
Now,
Yes.
Now, on that photo 1, you earlier pointed out your neighbors.
Uyabona kulesi
Who are
sithombe
those
sokuqala.
neighbors?
Kumbe kubomakhe bakho obani kubomakhelwane.
Kwamakhelwane la kuhlala kukwangcathi sibonga.
Now, but the surname of the neighbor, as pointed here on the picture, it is the
Ngcatshe.
Ngcatshes.
Can you
That
spell
is-
it? Can you spell it for me?
I'm not sure it's a
Ngcatshe.
Xhosa.
NG.
Xhosa surname alone.
Come again.
NG
Yes.
CA
Yes.
TS
Yes.
HE. And what is Mapiri's name? I'm sorry.
Now, before that, are these neighbors, the next door neighbors, are you referring to the ones on the left or the right?
Lo makhelwane lona ungaku esesinqele okanye esokudla umakhelwane ngalapha.
Njengoba ngibheka isithombe kanje kukwa right.
As I
La kwa
am
right. Kukwa right njengoba ngibheka isithombe la
as I'm looking at the
kukwa
photo
right.
like this, it is on my right hand side.
I can see that, I can see where you are pointing at. You are saying it's on your right, not
Njengoba
on the
ngibheka
right side of the
On the
street.
right.
Your Lordship, as I'm seated here,
Yeah.
that would be at my right.
Yeah, but if you were at your mother's house, it will be on the left.
Good job. That would be correct, my Lord. If
Okay.
I am at my mother's house, it will be on my left. Futhi mangapha ekhaya kithi izoba ngaku left. Futhi umakhelwane ngapha ngaku left.
Just for record purposes, can you just point out your mother's house there?
Nayo indlu kamala bese nakho kwangcatshe kapha kwa right njengoba ngibhekile.
Yeah, the light has been shown on my mother, on the mother's house and as well as the Ngcatshe's house.
Yes?
Yes, you may proceed.
So ngaqhubeka ke.
What is the surname of Mapiri?
Mapiri isename yakho kanti?
Igama uMegi bese sibongo abaphiri.
Her name is Maggie and the surname is Piri.
Yes, you may proceed.
So ngaqhubeka.
Ngase ngiphuma ke endlini ngalelo langa
I walked out of the house on
ngaphuma
the day
ngegate
in
ngaya khona
question.
kwamaphiri.
Then I proceeded to Mapiri's house.
Just show on the photo how you went to Mapiri.
Ngaphuma la.
That is the spot that I exited
Maphiri
from.
umala.
There is sort of a far left exit entrance there, my lord, which is now being pointed out. That is where I exited at. Wayagopi.
Ngase ngiza kwamaphiri kungala mubheka kahle.
Now, then I walked to Mapiri's house.
Umgwaqo.
Now that light, that spot of light, has been shown to move from that opening there, which looks like a gate, and straight down to the bottom left of the picture, my lord.
Was it straight down? I'm also watching. I seemed to see that it was moving diagonally rather than straight.
Angithi manje masibhekile i-opposite kamaphiri kwangcatshe, so umaphiri kusho ukuthi indlu
So
yakhe
it wouldn't
inda.
have been straight down.
Yeah.
It wasn't straight across, it was diagonally across the street.
Your lordship, as it pleases the court. Your Lordship. Yes, it was diagonally linear towards the bottom left of the picture.
Yes?
And then mase ngifika ke kwamaphiri ngathola ukuthi umaphiri beme nje ngaphandle.
Now, when I got to Mapiri's house, I then found out that she was just standing outside of her house.
Yes?
And then ingane kasisi wakhe uNthabiseng ube ngaphandle menemoto lapho ekhuluma nomuntu.
And then Ntabiseng, who is Mapiri's sister's child, was standing outside with a person, a motorist.
Just a minute.
Yes. The motorist that she was talking to,
What's the mother? What's the name of the one? Is it Ntabiseng?
Ntabiseng, my lord.
Ntabiseng is, how is she related to Mapiri?
She's the niece.
She's actually the niece in short, my lord. It is Mapiri's sister's child.
Daughter.
Yes, daughter.
Yes.
Do you know Ntabiseng's surname?
Surname Ntabiseng, yes. I'm not sure about her surname.
Yes. Can we indicate on that very same photo where the vehicle was?
Imoto yayimala.
This
Partner
is-
phakathi kwestrategy nje.
This is the spot where the vehicle had stopped or had parked, just in the middle of the street there.
Where
And
in
the point that is actually, or the spot that is being shown, it's more towards the right of the picture, right in the middle of the tarred road there.
where in relation to Mapiri's house?
Kuphi-ke mawuse uqhathanisa nento kalokhu nje ngamaphili.
Phambi kwegate.
That is in front of the gate of Mapiri's premises.
Yes.
Yes, may I proceed?
Ungaqhubeka?
Ngangena ke ngegate ngamemeza uMaphiri ngathi Maphiri fonela iambulance noma ufonela amaphoyisa.
I entered Mapiri's premises through the gate and then screamed at her and said, Mapiri, please phone call Mapiri's.
Amaphoyisa neambulance.
Please phone call the police and the ambulance as well.
Yes.
Yes, you may proceed.
Wayesethi kwenze njani ngase ngiyamtshela ke ngithi kungena igebengu zafike zadubula uSenzo waqala waphela ekhafeti.
She then asked me what happened. I related to her that the intruders came into the house and they shot at Senzo. That's when she started panicking after I related that with her.
Yes.
Yes, you may proceed.
Ngalongo ngiphinda ngithi phone Maphiri fonela amaphoyisa wathi hey angeke ngikhone wamemeza uNthabiseng wathi angisakwazi ucabanga wamemeza uNthabiseng wayesegate.
Now, I repeatedly requested her to phone call or urged her to phone call the ambulance. And she said that she can't think straight now at this stage. She then called Ntabiseng.
Yes.
You may proceed.
Wayeseke emtshela ukuthi phone Ntabiseng fonela amaphoyisa noma ufonele ambulance wathi uNthabiseng naye kwenzakaleni wayesethi ukudutshule kuSenzo lapha endlini.
She then said to her,
Khumalo.
instructed her and said that Ntabiseng, make a phone call now, make a phone call. Phone call the ambulance or phone call the police. Then Ntabiseng inquired, what happened? She then said that Senzo had been shot over there.
Yes.
State will be possibly calling these witnesses. May that evidence be provisionally allowed? Yes.
And then ke makusenjalo naye wakhala wathwala izandla ekhanda and then ngabona ukuthi hayi kusho ukuthi usizo luzofika kudala la ngabashiya kanjalo ngehla ngabuyela endlini.
Whilst at that, She also was screaming. She went hysterical, put her hands on the head. And then I realized that given these circumstances, one is not going to be able to get any help. I then went back home.
So you sensed futility of your efforts even before Tabiseng made the calls?
When vele about ukuthi kuyize lo naphambi kokuthi afone uNtabiseng.
Aphambi kwamasanga phone uNtabiseng.
Not in front of me, she didn't even phone call. She just put her hands on the head, went hysterical, crying. She didn't make any phone call.
Just for me to understand, you left because you sensed that these people shall not assist in the manner you were requesting, not because they don't want to, because they came into a state emotionally which you considered to be not allowing of a situation where they would help you.
Manje uteke wena mawuhamba okanye uthatha isinqumo sokuthi manje ngithi ngiphindele ekhaya yingenxa yokuthi wawubona ke ukuthi labantu abekho sesimeni sokuthi bangakwazi ukuthi bakulekelele, hayi kangakuthi abafuni ukukulekelela. Isimo abayithola kuso kwaba yilesi esibaphoqayo ukuthi bangakwazi ukuthi bakulekelele ngaleso sikhathi.
Yebo kunjalo.
It is indeed so, my Lord.
Yes.
So we proceed.
Base ngiyabuya ke ngize ekhaya ngase ngena futhi ngesango, uma ngena ngesango ngabona bemthatha bezozama umfa emotweni.
I went back home, walked into the yard through the gate. That's when I witnessed them making efforts and attempts to take him into the vehicle. They made efforts to put him into the vehicle.
Yes, who were making attempts to put him in the vehicle?
Mangizama ukukhumbula kahle ngabona ukhaya oyindodana yokuqala
Now, if my memory serves me well, I saw Kaya, who is the first son to the Ngache's family, that is Mr. and Mrs. Ngache.
And then ngabona ubaba Ngache naye.
I also saw Mr. Ngache.
Nabanye babe khona kodwa ngisakhumbula kahle ukuthi ubani wayobani uphi kanjani.
There were some people also in that scene, even though I cannot be particular about who was who and where were they at exactly, but during that time there were some people there.
I just want to show you photo 3 and 4 of Exhibit B that appears on page 22 of the bundle. You can just use that photo to illustrate your audience.
So mina ngase ngithi ngena ngegate la ngegate and then bona babe mala.
Now as I walked into the yard through that gate, this is where they were at. There is a spot on the picture right of the vehicle that is on the right hand side of the vehicle that is depicted on that picture there. Almost halfway through some distance of the wall of the house, towards the halfway through the wall of the house, that's where the light is showing.
there's a vehicle on the picture there. Whose vehicle is that?
Imoto kapande bonakala la kulesi sithombe.
Imoto kaSenzo.
That is Senzo's vehicle.
Yes, you may proceed.
So Tobega.
And then we are saying.
Let me find out. We have had other witnesses, and the impression I was given was that it is Senzo's vehicle that was used to ferry him to hospital. Now you are showing me that picture, that photo number. Is it 3? What?
It's photo 3 of exhibit B, my lord.
Yes. Now you are showing me photo number 3 with a vehicle which you again say that it's Senzo's vehicle. So this is not the vehicle as Senzo parked it. What you are showing us, it is the vehicle as whoever parked it after it had ferried Senzo to hospital.
Oh, manje ngoba sibona la ibingekho ngalendlela le moto le ngenkathi izohambisa mhlambe uSenzo mhlambe lana isime njena emva ukuthi ihambise uSenzo esibhedlela
ukuthi angingalulwazi lokuthi lesi sithombe sithathwe nini kodwa njalo nje masifike ekhaya sifike sipake kanje.
I do not have any knowledge as to who actually took this photograph. But that is a routine of us, that when we get to the house, to the parental house, that's how we park.
And sometimes, we are phambili or sifake ngapha kwa right kodwa ngalolu suku mina mengena ngegate safike sapaka.
At times, it would be parked deeper into the yard, straight down, or onto the right-hand side of the picture as depicted here, my lord. But on that day in question, the vehicle was parked to the children.
I'm asking you because we already have evidence to the effect that police officers whose duty it is to attend crime scenes came to attend and generated the exhibits that we are privy to now. And you are explaining, unless I'm jumping the gun, you are explaining that they put Senzo, or they got Senzo into that vehicle, and it is his vehicle, which would mean to me, subject to correction, that that photo would have been taken after Senzo had been taken to hospital. Secondly, I can see from the photo that it was taken in daytime, and what you explained to us entails a situation where indoors you needed lights. I want to presume that even outside.
I guess sure kanjalo umzila ngisho ngesenkanjalo shuthi ke isigameko senza ke amaphoyisa ke ayeza akazokwenza uphela ukuthi azokwenza uphenyo khona izinto ezithize ke abakwaziyo ukuthi babhale phansi kwa ingxenye zobufakazi abakwazi ukuyithola lapha kule ndawo yesigameko. Kanti ke ilona lwazi okanye ingxenye zobufakazi inkantolo ekwazi ukuthi ibophe la enkantolo. Manje ngikhuluma kanjena ke ngoba phela ngizothatha ukuthi uSenzo wahanjiswa esibhedlela. Wathi ke ehanjiswe esibhedlela kwaba nesikhathi ke kufika ke amapholisa emva kokuthi ahanjiswe esibhedlela uSenzo azokwenza ukuthi aphenye. And okunye ke engikubonayo lana ukuthi ngathi kusemini la futhi ke ukushilo nawe ukuthi endlini kwakhanya kwakudingeka ukuthi kukhanye endlini kanti nangaphandle ke bekunjani.
Ngaphandle kwasekuba mnyama, ngaphandle kwasekuba mnyama impela ngoba ngiyakhumbula ukuthi nani light lika lase next door kwangathi usually lele ngaphandle bayalikhanyisa
ngenkathi wena usungena.
So mina mangena nje kwakungemnyama kangaka. kodwa nje kwakusebusuku khona.
Your Lordship, outside it was dark on the day of the incident.
Come again?
Outside, it was dark, or it was getting dark.
Okay.
That is on the day of the incident. There were lights that were somehow illuminating the area.
Okay.
That is, for an example, the Ngache's house. There were lights that were mounted on the house of the Ngaches, which were now illuminating or partly illuminating the area.
Can you assist me also? I want to fully understand what I'm looking at. If you are there where the vehicle is, by the look of the photo, one can deduce that the one side would be east and the other side would be west. Now, looking at the photo, how the shadows fall onto the surface, which you can see on the photo, one can deduce that the photo was taken during daytime.
Yabona ngizocela ungisize la. Uma sibheka ngapha mhlawumbe kulesi sithombe, umuntu angakwazi ukuthi yabona ngapha ngaku right kuyimpumalanga, sibheka ngaku left sithi intshonalanga, kanti uma sibheka le moto sibheka phansi
Mr. Interpreter, I didn't say which is east, which is west. I'm saying the one side is the one and the other side is the other, because we don't know. That's what I want her to tell us. Which would be, if we look at that photo, which side would be east and which side would be
as
west.
the purpose, my lord. My apologies, my lord. Kanti ke inkosi inkantolo la isho ukuthi ngapha ku east ngapha ku west ne police. Usungasitshela ke wena ukuthi ku east ukuphi la, ku west ukuphi, njengoba sesibona ukuthi lapha yana ke kunomthunzi lapha phansi. Lokho kungasho ukuthi mhlawumbe ke isithombe sathathwa kusenini okanye ilanga lisekhona.
And before you answer that, I know that not all of us are very conscious about east, west, south, and you are not forced to answer that question. But I'm saying, for in case, because you are saying it's your mother's house, in case you know, can you put us into light about where is east and where is
inkantolo ibuza njena ke ilokhu yaqapha ukuthi bakhona abethu abangazi ukuthi mhlawumbe masikhuluma ngempumalanga sikhuluma ngani ingakuphi okanye intshonalanga ingakuphi, kodwa ke sothatha ukuthi mhlawumbe uyayazi
if you know.
Uma ngabe uyakwazi lokho ungakwazi ukuthi mhlawumbe usicacisele.
Okokuqala angazi ukuthi isithombe sasithathwe nini.
To start with, I don't know when was this picture taken.
Kodwa uyabona ukuthi kusemini.
One can tell that it is in the day.
But ngikwazi ukuthi imoto mayifika noma yiphi imoto mayifika nje ifika ime khona lapha. Ungakuthi phambidlana noma isemuva kancane noma umuntu decide ukuyiletha ngapha kuleli side ayihoxise ngapha noma decide ukupaka.
What I further know is that this is how the vehicle would usually be parked when it gets to the house, or it may be, driven deeper into the yard, straight down into the yard, or one can decide to park the vehicle on the right hand side, as the witness is now shown, that is behind the wall or the fence that is being shown by me.
I didn't help us by asking a question that is too long. My short question is, which is east and which is west? That is the gist of it.
Umbuzo wami lo ke ukuthi ungakwazi ukusitshela ukuthi east ikuphi, east ikuphi, west ikuphi?
If you know.
Mhlawumbe mawazi. I don't know.
Okay, no, it's okay.
If we can show you maybe photo 1 and 2 of exhibit A. Well, perhaps, my lord, can we take the short adjournment at this stage? When we resume, we'll deal with this photo.
Oh. When we adjourned yesterday, I should have emphasized that from the moment you walked into that dock yesterday, the operating principle is that you are not allowed to discuss anything pertaining to this case with anyone, be it verbally or be it by sign language or even winking and whatever, even through gadgets. You are not allowed to discuss this case.
lumungena lapha lomnyango inkantolo befanele ukuthi isuka nje ikutshela ukuthi awufanele indlela okusetshenzwa ngakhona la enkantolo ngoba usuthatha istandard nje sokuthi wena uzofakazi la enkantolo masithathe ikhefu nje nanoma inini nje indaba ukuthi mawuloko nje wena ungufakazi la enkantolo awukhulumi namuntu ngale ngxenye zokufakaza ngamanye amazwi ne-sign language njengoba ujaji esho kanti ke nala ekutexteni ngisho amafoni siyawasebenzisa njalo manje ke awufanele ukuthi ukhulume namuntu.
Yes.
Understood, my lord? What must she?
To show where the vehicle was parked.
Asibonise ke ukuthi imoto ibipake kuphi.
Imoto ibipake khona la ngaphakathi la.
This is where the vehicle was parked, and the light is showing between the two posts of the gate, inside of the gate, on the other side of the, just in that vicinity of that coordinating tape.
Yes, you may proceed. You explained that they were trying to put him in the vehicle and you mentioned the names of those people. What happened further?
Busasitshela ke ukhuluma ngamagama labantu ababekhona laphayana ke base kwenzakalani.
Hayi ke ngase ngiyaqhubeka ke ngabona ukuthi mina kube zama ukumfaka emotweni ngavula umnyango wangaphambili wemoto kwa left.
Now, given the fact that I observed they were trying to help him into the vehicle, I then proceeded to the left door of the vehicle, that is the left passenger door. I opened that left passenger door of the vehicle.
So is it front or rear?
Left front.
Yes.
So before ngizovula ke lo mnyango lo ngaphambili khona wayephambi kwami ngisakhumbula kodwa ukuthi kwakubani, so ngamdlula ngayovula lo mnyango wasengena phakathi emotweni and then ngase nginqamulela phakathi kwemoto phakathi naphakathi kwezihlalo.
Now, I cannot recall who was the person in front of me or next to me at the time that I was proceeding towards the left front passenger door. I walked past that person, opened the left front door of the vehicle. I then got into the vehicle. I then maneuvered myself inside of the vehicle, past the seats.
What did you say?
Oh.
She maneuvered herself
Past the seats inside of the vehicle, my lord. The witness had not yet finished as to what was her attempt or what was she attempt.
Okay.
Uyasho ukuthi waseke undlula ihlalo nje ngalapho.
Ngadlula ke ihlalo lezo ngoba umnyango wangemuva kwa right bese bewuvulile bezama ukumfaka phakathi. Mina ke mengingena ke emotweni ngase ngimbamba la ngaphansi kwamahlombe ngezama ukumphulela ukumdonsela ngaphakathi.
The purpose was that given the fact that, my lord, the rear right door of the vehicle was already opened and they were trying to load him into the vehicle, I then maneuvered myself past the seats to the back and held him from behind underneath. The witness was just now demonstrating that her arms were sort of under the armpits or under the arms of the person that they were trying to load into the vehicle, to try and pull him into the vehicle as well.
You went to the right side of the vehicle. The rear left door was open.
Left front, you went to the left front.
She went to the left.
Yeah, but how was the rear left door? Was it open or closed?
It was closed.
It was closed, my lord.
Okay, and you passed it. You went and opened the front left door, which is the passenger door.
Kunjalo.
Kunjalo ngoba kwakunomuntu wayephambili angisakhumbula ukuthi ubani wayelapho lokho lesi sihlalo sangikulo mnyango wangemuva
Emnyango
ngaphandle ngaphandle
Yes, my lord. There was a person that was standing outside at the left rear door. It is that person that I've referred to, the person that was in front of me. I walked past them because they were standing right at the left rear door, and then I proceeded to the left front door, which is the passenger door.
And then you embarked onto the vehicle.
That's correct, my lord.
And you're speaking of maneuvering. In other words, you were at the front, in the area where the front seat is, and you did not position yourself to face forward.
Ngasuka la ngangene khona ngase ngiyanqamulela ngaya emuva ngomzimba wonke ngangena emuva.
In essence, my lord,
Ngisuka phambili.
I went into the vehicle. As I embarked the vehicle, my intention was not to sit there.
Yeah.
I then maneuvered myself or bypassed others' seats so that I can go at the front or go to the to the back seat, so that I can go to the back seat.
Mr. Balo, is there any picture showing the inside of the vehicle?
No, my lord, we're just trying to show the picture that was on the screen. This photo 3 of exhibit B, my lord, on page 22. If you can maybe just use the photos just for illustration purposes.
Photo 3.
Yes. Of exhibit B.
Yeah, remember I'm now inquiring into what she's outlining about what happened once she had embarked
Yes.
into the vehicle.
Yes.
Because we know that the front seats are opposite each other. There might be, depending on the make of the vehicle, there might be a space in between the seats. And you are saying once inside the vehicle you didn't face forward. You, in other words, you were facing backward onto the area of the back seat.
Iloko kusho should wena mongena azange uhlala ubheke phambili. Should wena ungenile wase uya ngasemuva okanye wabheka ngasemuva. Kulesihlalo esingasemuva.
Ngingenile ngeqa iarmrest ngomzimba wami wonke ngahamba ngaye emuva ngomzimba wami wonke ngaye emuva.
I got into the vehicle and then jumped over the armrest with my entire body displaced into the back of the vehicle, or that is the back seat of the vehicle.
Okay, now I understand. Okay.
Yes, you may continue.
So I took that.
And then kwasekuthi sengingaphakathi ngambamba la ngaphansi kwamakhwapha ngase ngimdonsela ngaphakathi.
When I was inside there at the back, I then held him in his armpit or underneath his arms.
So you received Senzo from inside, whilst the others were placing him inside the vehicle from outside.
Good job. Should wena ke wamthola wamamukela ke ngaphakathi ukuthi khona laba bangaphandle ke abebemfaka ngaphakathi.
Kunjalo.
It is indeed so, my lord.
Yes?
Yes, you may proceed.
And then ke ngabona ukuthi nenyawo futhi zazisasele ngaphandle umnyango ungavaleki ngase ngidonsa ke inyawo lezo ngase ngiyameqa ngayohlala ngase ngako right wesicaba.
I then realized that the legs were protruding to the outside of the vehicle. I pulled them back into the vehicle and then jumped over him or went to the farthest end, which is the right hand side of that rear seat to go and sit there.
On which side of the rear seat did you end up?
Uthi ubuhleli ngakuphi? On the right hand side of the rear seat, my lord.
Yes?
Yes. You proceed.
And then ke engikukhumbula ukuthi uKelly wayedriver wangena ngale ku driver seat.
What I also recall is that Kelly was the one that was driving the vehicle, so she embarked the vehicle on the driver's seat. Kelly.
Okay. Can you explain to me, you are there on the rear seat on the right side? I would presume you mean the far right side of the rear seat. And earlier on you spoke about drawing Senzo's feet inward. Now if we think of the make of a vehicle, there will be the rear seat and there will be leg space there at the rear. And when you say you drew Senzo's feet inward, did you draw them as far as no longer being on the rear side, on the rear seat, or on the rear part, on the rear right part of the vehicle, or were they still there? Because if you say you sat there, where was his feet then?
Okay, ngafuphe nje ukuthi ngoba udonse inyawo nje uyidonsela kuphi phezulu kwesihlalo o uyidonsela ngoba phela angisho wena uthi ubuhleli ugcinisa uhlala ngapho ngesokudla imlenze noma inyawo zikaSenzo zikuphi lokukhumbulayo ukuthi imoto zinokuba ke nespace mhlambe sokubeka inyawo kube yabona indawo lana ke sihlala khona inyawo kuyibeke kanjani ke ezikaSenzo ukuthi wena ekugcineni ukwazi ukuhlala lapho
Khona mengikhumbula kahle sasimpintshekile impela ngoba ngayidonsa from ngingaphakathi ngayidonsela ngaphakathi ukuthi ihlale la inyawo ezihlala khona kodwa ke ispace esasingapha ngasemnyango kwa right sasesincane ngempela ngoba ngangihleli ngecele.
Well, honestly speaking, it was the space was quite confined, or was quite confining. We were squeezed in there, inside of the vehicle. Even the space that I am referring to, the space where I sat at, it was so small that I only sat on the side.
Okay.
And the feet of the deceased, where were they resting?
They were resting. Beziphansi.
They were on the floor.
Kodwa zazisondele kakhulu ngakumina.
Though they were on the floor, the inclination of their feet were on my side.
And his torso?
Umzimba
wawungemuva nje ulele kanjalo.
The torso was on the remaining part of the rear seat, my lord.
Yes?
You mentioned that your sister Kelly Khumalo occupied the driver's seat. Were there any other occupants in the vehicle?
Uthi uKelly behleli esihlalweni somshayeli babe khona nje abanye abantu ngaphandle labantu sokhulume ngapho ngaphakathi emotweni.
Yebo, emotweni kwakukhona uTumelo.
Yes, there were other occupants. There were other occupants. It was also Tumelo.
kuphinde kube khona umthokozisi
and then there was Mthokozisi.
noma ngeke ngikhumbule ukuthi sasihleli silandelana kanjani kodwa sasikhona sonke emotweni.
Even though I cannot tell the positioning of our occupation or occupancy of the vehicle, but what I can recall is that we were all occupants in that vehicle.
Yes?
Yes, you may proceed.
And then ke kwakukhona ithawula ababelisebenzisa elalincanyana nje li light blue mhlambe isiqeshana esingaka sethawula angazi noma ngathi hand towel noma yini esasetshenziswa ukuthi babe sibeke la kuyena esifubeni.
Now there was a little towel. I'm not sure as to whether it would be safe to say that it was a hand towel that was being used to put or to dress the front portion, and the witness has just pointed on the front portion of the torso, just in the vicinity of the abdomen and perhaps the thoracic region.
Yes?
Yes, and what was the purpose thereof?
Is the way in Inhloso.
Mina ngathola sebelibekile vele ithawula bebeka ukuthi kube ne pressure esifubeni.
I found that the towel had already been placed there, just to compress or to give some compression of the chest with it.
Yes?
Did you see whether the deceased was bleeding or not from the wound?
Uke wabona ukuthi umufi ubewopha noma?
Ngabona khona ubopha kodwa kokungekuningi kakhulu kokungekuningi.
Well, I did witness that the deceased was bleeding, albeit not profusely, but I did witness that the deceased was bleeding.
Yes, you may proceed.
Ungaqhubeka.
And then ke njengoba sasilapha ngaphakathi sasilokhu sishintshana ke ukusiza ukuthi sibeke pressure embobeni le ayilapha.
Now, all of us who were occupying that vehicle, we were taking turns to compress on the wound. That is where, the towel was.
Yes?
Yep.
And then ke ukhelwa driver futhi driver egijima.
Now, Kelly was driving, and she was driving at a high speed.
Yes?
Yes, you may proceed.
And then while isamsiza kanjalo uSenzo mase sofika ngase emarobhothini sebuthilong ngoba ngangimbambile ngibeka isandla futhi la ithawula lalikhona.
Now we drove up to the point in the vicinity of the Botselong as we were driving like that, because my hand was right at that particular area where where he was bleeding. My hand was placed on that area. Andifike Botselong.
Ngangiphinde futhi ngimthinte nasebusweni ngithi Senzo vula amehlo, Senzo vula amehlo sesiyafika esibhedlela.
And I also kept on touching his face, or perhaps shaking his face and saying that, Senzo, stay alive. Wake up or rather, keep your eyes opened. We are just about to arrive at the hospital. Lordship, the witness is getting emotional now.
Do you want a comfort break?
To be careful, Daniel.
My lords, maybe we can just take a 5 minutes comfort break. Ms. Khumalo, you mentioned the word Butsilong. What type of place is that?
Ebuthilong kusesibhedlela.
It is the hospital.
Yes, we can proceed.
And then mangilokho ngizama ukumkhulumisa ngimthinta ebusweni ngizama ukumxoxisa ukuthi avula amehlo
No, at the time that I-
eqa kanje.
So I was busy trying to talk to him, keep him, conscious, and make attempts to make sure that his eyes are open. I kept on touching his face whilst doing that.
Yeah.
Yes, you may proceed.
Yeah, lokuzama kanjalo.
And then ngiyakhumbula ukuthi kwesinye isikhathi sakhona lapho ngangibeka isandla ngasesiswini kanje ngamuza ukuthi uyaqala uyabanda.
Now I remember during those attempts I placed my hand on the abdominal area and I could tell that the body temperature was now decreasing.
Yes.
Yeah, perhaps just put it in simple terms. If you say the body temperature was decreasing, what does it mean?
Ukufudumala kwakhe kokungasafani. Ngoba ngangibambe ngala ngaphezulu ngiphinde ngibambe ngala ngezansi kwakungasafani.
There were varying body temperatures on the same body. I had placed my hand on the lower abdominal area and the other one on top, that is on the Lordship, there's a on the chest, just on the manubrium area.
The what area?
On the chest area, just below the throat or the thorax. Man. There was a demonstration, my lord. Perhaps it will assist because perhaps you can say this was the other hand was on the clavicle, or the collarbone. And another one was on the sort of lower abdominal area. And then the witness indicates that that's when she realizes that the body temperatures are varying, are not the same.
Yes, you may proceed.
And then seqaka ama robot lawo sawongena esibhedlela.
We then